Alright, welcome back to Guard Well Defense. My name's Rob. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the wooden dummy training in Wing Chun. So I learned from Chris Chan and Sifu Chris Chan in San Francisco back in the early 90s, and he studied with Yip Man back in the 50s and early 60s, was a peer of Bruce Lee's. In the Wing Chun world, there's lots of debate, some of it rather heated, about various styles and who was Yip Man's favorite student and all that, so I'm not going to get into that. What I will give is my opinion on how the dummy training has helped me along my martial arts journey. And so the dummy allows us to do a couple things. It allows us to condition our arms so that we can hit it hard. And it stands to reason if I can do that on a teak wooden dummy, I can do that pretty well against somebody's neck. And have good effect. So it allows us to condition our arms, and I think really the secret to conditioning the arms and being able to hit this thing with power is by doing sandbag training, and also by doing the Sealam Tao with a lot of tension in your body. So not every Wing Chun school teacher advocates that, but Chris certainly did, and I think it works really, really well. Because depending on what you're training for, right? If you're going to train to go into the octagon, well then your training regimen has to match what you're going to face there. If you're like me, you're training for life and death on the street, because I don't plan on going against any MMA fighters or going into the octagon or anything else. I just plan to live a peaceful life unless somebody puts that into doubt, in which case I will fight for my life. And so that's why I train. And so if that's why you're training, this will be appropriate for you. So the Wing Chun dummy allows us to attack the dummy. These, of course, represent arms. This represents something to the midsection. And we've got the leg down here that represents a man's leg. And with this setup, and it gives a little bit, and with this setup, I can practice the angles, because everything in Wing Chun is the geometry is what makes it really powerful. So if you do a tan sao like this or like this, you got good power. If you do your tan sao out here away from your body, you don't have any power. All right, so this allows me to practice the angles, and allows me to practice hitting it hard, and it allows me to practice my footwork, because by having that leg in the front, every step should be calculated to be able to come in and do a sweep, or where you're going to stand, or how to step into somebody's center of gravity when you want to do them visit violence upon that person. So with that being said, I just want to demonstrate kind of the opening of Wing Chun, as I guess would go from Chris Chan to Yip Man. Now keep in mind that if Yip Man, or even Chris Chan, for example, who's now in his 80s, obviously over the course of his lifetime, his teaching style changed, and things that he emphasized changed. And I imagine the same thing was true of Yip Man, and probably the teacher who went before him in time immemorial. So things change over time. So I don't necessarily agree with everything that's done in the 108 form of the dummy form that I was taught, but a lot of it is quite useful. And again, I advocate if you like something, incorporate it, and if it doesn't fit you for whatever reason, throw it away. All right, the beginning of the 108 as taught by Sifu Chris Chan. So that gives you an idea. Again, to do this without doing the seal and towel with tension and without using the sandbag to train, you should probably just going to get bruised a lot. But it really is a wonderful piece of training gear, and especially if you're, you know, in COVID-19 lockdown or don't have regular access to a school. This is a great way to augment your training. So let me know if you got any questions.